I think Bo took 30 seconds to love this place. And so we are Joaquin and Bo. I'm originally from Argentina. I lived for a long time in the US, and I actually lived in Europe as well. And Bo is from Malaysia. We both live in Hong Kong. So, we love to travel. We have busy careers, but we try to balance that with traveling. We love eating. Bo is a very good cook, and we love eating vegetables. We had this idea of buying a house in Europe for a long time because we wanted a place where everybody can get together in the summer, in the winter, and so. But it was an idea that we weren't chasing very aggressively. And we have a friend of ours who we trust, and they were much more committed to buying a house, and they bought a house nearby here. And so we leveraged all of their experience, and they loved the experience with Great Estate. And I think having a partner, when you're buying a house in a foreign country, having a partner that you can trust, particularly when you're going to buy, from whatever 10,000 kilometers away,
Sure.
you need to have somebody here that you trust, and it was instant connection with them. In my profession, I dealt with a lot of big purchases and a lot of contracts, and with a lot of people and advisors and consultants and intermediaries, and I developed a little bit of a sense for who's on your side, who's not, who's professional, who's adding value, who's not. And Roberto immediately he was very, very professional. And let me explain you what that means, because it's not just that he knew the ropes around, which he did, but importantly, he actually, we didn't have a lot of time to actually look at houses. We were here for a reasonably short period of time. It just happened also to be the time where everybody's looking for houses, so Roberto was super busy. But in just the days that we had to look at houses, he actually designed a schedule to see houses that were perhaps a little bit extreme from each other, but with the goal of trying to really understand what we wanted. And then the other thing that Roberto did incredibly well was trying to really, explain to us the uniqueness of buying a place in Italy, because it is a unique place, and there are regulations, there is legal issues, there is the role of the notary, there is, all of these things. And I am one of these people that I need to know everything, and I'm very detailed, and, just by virtue of my profession, and therefore, I wasn't short in asking questions. And Roberto was very, very, very patient.
Yeah, I'd like to add that Roberto was also really good in the pre-work before we came to Italy. He spent a lot of time doing video calls with us, sent us a lot of links to houses, so he already got a little bit of a feel of what we wanted to see and what we liked. So that was really helpful.
And in this process, I met a lot of the team, but particularly with Stefano, we built a great relationship, because Stefano is an entrepreneur. You could tell he has great ambition to build a large business, to scale, and and in my career, I work with a lot of companies that that have big visions, and so we develop an instant connection. What I'd say is, again, we looked at a lot of places, and when we walked in here, Bo and myself, and then later the rest of my family, my daughter Carolina, and my mother, who happened to be here with us, we all love this place. Like, we fell in love, love at first sight. And to me, this is about what I like, but also importantly, it's about what my loved ones like. Because I wanted a place where everybody feels home, everybody feels comfortable. And so, I think Bo took 30 seconds to love this place. And so, not only would I recommend them, I would not advise any of my friends to buy a property in Italy other than through Great Estate. In fact, since I bought this property, now there have been several of my friends that, want to buy places nearby and create a bit of a, translation and so on. And so yeah, no, absolutely. And we had a great experience. I recommend anybody that is looking at making an investment and a transaction of this magnitude to really think hard about who do they want to have on their side, because it is not trivial. They make it easy, but it's actually, takes a lot of effort, a lot of teamwork, a lot of, professionalism.
Yes.
To get something so complicated, seems so easy. So I want to thank you both very much.